utter wrong. What? Sorry, I'm just I've had some technical problems today with my computer, and I'm now just rebooting everything. And I am going to talk about it because I'm sure at some point you're going to go through exactly the same thing. Let me just grab that, gone. So welcome to the body of the Kirk. Yeah, wrong one. We'll get into the comments in just a moment. Good to see everybody there. And we'll allow people to get their feet in the pews, in the starmers. That's interesting. So just remember, free Battenberg and altar wine in no particular order. The piles cushions are over there. The starmers are filling up. That's what we call the pews because they're a little difficult on your derriere. Too hard, seemingly. Andrew James, evening, yeah, mucky lot. Yes, quite. So welcome. That's the kind of official part over and done with. As Tom Harney says, evening as a wrong and philosopher once said, if you want to get out of it, you've got to get into it. Or if you want to get into it, you've got to get out of it. Either way, sounds like fun. I've heard of those kind of parties before, Tom Harney's. Let's do it that way. And so welcome. Welcome, one and all. This is a broad body of the Kirk, where you welcome all sorts, not licorice, and certainly not Egyptians who say nasty things about the people of this sceptred isle on social media. Oh no, wait. So he can say that about white folk, but somebody who tweets something or posts on Facebook gets 32 months in jail. And there's the wrong and Starmer, queer boy Starmer, because he's as queer as folk. He flip-flops everything. He doesn't know which way is up or down. He probably knows which way is in and out. He's got 2 kids. But also, he has no idea what a woman is. And now I think there's every chance that he doesn't know what kids are. Oh, by the way, you know what this is? Yeah, it's a 6/7 dance. There was me thinking it was, well, they're rather large. So, do you know what the 6/7 is? Yes, quite. It's seemingly it's how can I put this? Well, the kids know better than me, but I thought it was I don't care. Some have said it's the speed of sex. I was like 6/7. Surely that's 68. And they said, why 68? I says because it's 69. You turn round. Thank you, Tom. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Thank you, Sandra James. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Amalia very simply says evening, Amalia. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. And Des Ashton wants to ring his bell like Anita Ward. So ring my bell, ring my bell. Des, welcome to the body of the Kirk. So, hang on a second. Andrew James says to Tom Harney's, that philosopher of yours, which pub does he drink in? All of them. James, he drinks in the Dog and Strumpet. Oh, I think we could come up with some pub names tonight. And oh my God, Napoleon. 4 centigrade heat wave dropping to a balmy -10 tonight. Oh, that's Mankini kind of weather, Napoleon. Mankini, I swear. Amalia's like, oh dear Lord, cold. There's nothing better. The cold. I mean, hasn't anyone done the Wim Hof method? Don't you know that cold is good for you? Takes away all of the inflammation in your body, seemingly. Napoleon Bonaparte has actually qualified it by saying that's the weather for Massachusetts, which is a Bee Gees song that Kenny Everett once sang. And just found out that Angelica Bell is married to Michael Underwood, who is now a teacher. Thought she was married to Andy Peters. Amalia, do you want me to tell you, or do you want somebody else to tell you? Oh, I wish I could tell you the news of the world picture story. Oh, dear Lord. No, can't tell you. No, can't tell you. Well, I'm going to continue with the conversation, so I definitely can't tell you legally. But, there was a very famous news of the world picture. Very famous. 350 grand it cost, seemingly. No, Angelica Bell is absolutely, categorically not married to Andy Peters because her cock's not big enough. Some Egypt told me that decades ago. They definitely were an Egypt, Amalia. I mean, Andy doesn't hide it. Just saying. Mad Matt UK. Good evening, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well and the Kirk hasn't run out of the bishop's finger. No, he's very happy to provide more bishop's fingers, seemingly. Sister Mary wanted a couple. I was like, Sister Mary? Really? Well, it's Christmas, Reverend. You know, goodwill to all men, including the bishop. I said, well, I'm not going to bash him if you're going to take 2 fingers. Bishop's fingers. Drinks before you start. Marlene says, Napoleon, thought you were interested in the UK. Every day's a school day. Mumpsy Daisy. Jake Paul spotted in Nigeria with a hacksaw and a pair of brake pliers. That is very funny. Very funny. Joshua, Anthony is a little worse for wear this afternoon. Not as in, libations, but he's been in a car crash, which sadly killed 2 others. I thought there was 4 in the car, 2 in the front, Anthony in the back with personal security. Don't know what happened to the personal security because nobody's talking about it. So obviously he didn't want to get in the pictures. Evening, Rev and Peeps from Comic Mania. Hope you all had a nice Christmas. Yeah, not bad, Comic Mania. Am I having deja vu? Were you not here last night? Oh, Sandra. Gan on, bonny lass. Hopefully the Blades will win tonight. We'll be listening to Radio from 8. Fabulous. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you, Sandra. Another 3 points. We're not even halfway through the season yet. So Christmas is always telltale. So I wish the Blades well tonight, Sandra. So Andrew James, Titanic docs on BBC Two are cack. December TV used to be a massive event once upon a time. Size Queen. Not now, it's not. Oh dear Lord, what was the highlight of Christmas so far? Call the Midwife. I've never watched it in my life. I would rather poke my eyes out with sharp and very hot sticks. I mean, dear Lord. It's about as funny as hemorrhoids. The BBC used to be the bastion of humour, bastion of British humour, and now they're not, because they do everything by committee. Shame, really. Sandra Whittam, match starts at 7:45 tonight. If you suddenly go quiet, I understand why, but if you suddenly start screaming and shouting, I'm looking forward to a positive outcome tonight. Des Ashton, life is like a shit sandwich. The more bread you've got, the less shit you have to eat. That is very good. Stephen Hall, worst Christmas schedule ever. I didn't even look at it. Not even looked at it. I mean, I haven't seen Muppet Christmas Carol yet. I definitely haven't watched Love Actually. And I just, because it was so busy, I just thought, oh, stuff it. Hang on. I've got to find what Louisa said. Michael Underwood is Angelica Bells. I don't even know who Michael Underwood is. Is he a cricketer? It's the only Underwood that I've ever known. Mother Teresa just walked in. Really, Comic Mania. Died the same day as Diana, and who got all the reportage. Not Mother Teresa. Rumour has it you camp out in front of the garage in Glasgow. Says at BD Cool. Evening all. Happy New Year, says Karina. Jesus. I am going to talk about this week in a moment because, well, it's just weird. I've now got people saying Happy New Year. Evening, Karina. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. And there's... hang on, I need to go up a bit. Oh, Bad Wolf Project's in the body of the Kirk. Evening, Bad Wolf Project. Peters is on the other boat. That far in the closet. He's in Narnia. Very good. Did you know that Klaus Schwab was caught fiddling? I do, Theo Bovril. We reported it on the lives. Depends what kind of fiddling. Not while Rome burned, but he was definitely caught, and not for the things that he was he alleged to have done. Because when it started, it's like the golden hour for any crisis management. The golden hour. As soon as the hour's up, then that's it. They've got hold of the story. They've got PR spin and everything all going on, and you never find out the truth ever after the first hour. And I was there in the first hour and was told, and I'm not taking that old fucker on, because he's evil. Hang on, Comic Mania. I've missed pretty much all the Siren. Any particular genre, Tracy? Not TBT. Surely not in the body of the Kirk again. Obviously gave Bonnie Blue a run for her money. Right. So I can't find Louise. I don't know what she said, but Amalia did reply to it. The Bad Wolf Project. When is the Rev going on a nationwide tour? Nationwide was a great program, TV program. Did watch it, and Pebble Mill at one. Don't know. It would be lovely though, just to kind of meet a few people and say hello. But the stuff that I do on the live, what would I take on a live tour? What could I do from stage? Is it just sit there and drink and take questions? Sounds like a good night out. What could I do on a nationwide tour? Would you want me? I mean, I could say things that I can't say on here, like who I think are kiddie fiddlers in the House of Commons, and tell you the history of kiddie fiddling in the House of Commons, and the deviancy in the House of Commons. I mean, I could fill days with those stories. Can't tell them on air because I'll get kicked off the channel. Paul Morton, evening, Reverend All. Evening, Paul. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, and thank you for all your very kind reposts and likes on X. I try and mentally work out whether it was still Twitter or not. So Theo Bovril, yeah, Klaus was. Labour launches investigation into serious failures around some Egyptian geezer that wants us all wiped out. Starmer, I mean, he's so inept. I'm sure the Labour exec were like working out, well, he's a barrister. Isn't he barrister? Head of the CBS? Well, he's been the head of CBS. So he must be able to convince the electorate that we're a good thing, a good bet. And then he gets into office and the Labour exec would have been gone, holy Jesus. Is he really this inept? Is he really this inept? And everybody's going, yeah. Shouldn't have made him Prime Minister. But that was the only way they were going to get into power if Starmer was going to be Prime Minister. Look at the pan shite they're in now. Ring My Bell was one of the first records I played on hospital radio in 1979. Really, Stephen? I thought it was 80. Was it 79? Anita Ward? Ring My Bell, darling. Ding dong. Yes, Rusty's roaming. Yeah, we got that one. I think poor Amalia has kind of got the gist. So can I? So the only thing that I can say, and are we before? No, we've just gone past the watershed. So the only thing that I can say is there's a very old story of some TV presenter and some then current pop star in some decade, and one said individual was giving the other individual a bit of a nosh on the front step, and somebody took a picture of it, and it cost 350 quid to make that one disappear. Oi, 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 oi. No, I'm not going to give you any names. It's not related to anything that we've been talking about this evening. It's just me talking about an apocryphal story that I may be aware of, and the news of the bloody world where, oh, the news of the world got the picture, and it took 350 grand to buy it and get rid of it. So just saying. Interesting fact, the B-side of Ring My Bell was called Pull My Honker. They're blown apart, along with everyone else. Sir Andrew James, yes. Comic Mania, Starmer defended Al Qatada, the one it took 10 years to kick out and cost the UK 3 million quid, or taxpayers 3 million quid. Well, it would do, wouldn't it? Look, I've told you before, the legal profession, it's just, they're all evil. All of them, without exception, yeah, maybe one or two. Well, nearly without exception. They're just there for the Benjamins, the money. They don't care whether you win or lose. What, you thought that lawyers and barristers had integrity and did the right thing by you? Hadaway and shite, man. The reason why all these inquiries are happening is because certain politicians may be actually getting their mates in and going, "Ooh, look, I'll give you an inquiry. It's going to last 3 years. It's going to make you millions." Post office inquiry, anyone? COVID inquiry, anyone? It's taking decades. Hang on, what's Les said now? I see you. Dunno, just saw the name and thought I would play safe. Well, Les, what you done, man? Amalia, right. I recognise don't. I mean, you're taking me down a route that I know stories. Let me just check this, see if I can get away with it, because I will tell you it if I can get away with it. So I think the person you're talking about, Les Griffiths. No, Toby Anstis was not in Spandau Ballet. It was the Kemp brothers. There was Spiny Norman, and they call. Well, I won't tell you why they called him Spiny. What's his face? The singer. So there was a saxophonist and a drummer. Was called John. No, Toby Anstis was, probably still is, a presenter on Heart. And no, I can't. No, I can't. Legally, it would put me in Queer Street, so I'm not, as in, it, no. So Starmer claims he was not aware of this Egyptian's past. Starmer is a lying trucker. He's never driven a bloody truck in his life, you Bovril. Lying fucker? Well, yeah, I'll accept that. But he always does. He goes, "Oh, no, I know nothing. I'm from Barcelona." And everybody looks at him going, "What? You're the Prime Minister? So you don't know? So who you're firing in your back office? Because you don't know." Notice what I did there? Back office. Back door man. Keep up. So he doesn't know. And he's the Prime Minister and gets briefed on everything. He loves these briefs. Does Starmer? Stay with the programme. So he doesn't know about him wanting to kill us, all the whiteys. And he wants to protect him. There's always a tweet. Anyway, let's get into it. Right, if you could smash the likes on your way in, you're wrong uns, please. The old Bovril. Karina says, "Oh, I listened to Toby on Heart." The Bad Wolf Project. No, I can't comment, you tart. It's a disgrace, that's what it is. It says, "I see you." A whole lot of love. A whole lot of love. Nice. BD, cool. Like that one. Starmer is an expert playing dumb. Ignorance is bliss. He's not ignorant at all, that boy. Unless... you can't say that either, Adrian. Jesus. Maybe I need to go on tour. Maybe I need to just kind of. But then again, if you're saying it out in public, it's oh bloody hell. As Comic Mania says, he knew all about Allah's past. He was shown knowing about it on a video clip from 2023. Asking Rishi Sunak about the subject. You'll find that on my Twitter feed. So if anybody doesn't know what Comic Mania is talking about and you're on Twitter, X, or whatever it's called nowadays, go and have a look at me feed. The video's on there. I see you. We could be your warm-up on tour. I see you. Do you realise what you've just said? I'm sure it was said in all innocence. Brilliant. Neil Bovril says, Starmer's briefs have a back door sewn into them. I think we should leave it there, Neil Bovril, don't you? I mean, unless somebody brings a file and a cake for one of us or both of us. Oops, I see you. No, it's very good. It's very good. But, I mean, where the bloody hell would I go on tour? What would I go on tour with? Maybe me book? Did I tell you I've written a book? And I'm in the process of writing the second one. And I've got the third one, which is the second one. But you know me. It's kind of, it's intelligent observation. That's what that is. It's not, I'm going to write about myself. I'm not going to write about myself. I'm not Johnny Big Bollocks. Bad Wolf Project says, I used to work with a girl at Radio City who worked in the newsroom, who fancied Anstis. I worked at in London. We were in the same building. I mean, I worked for LBC and we were in the same building. Bless you, Amalia. Do you mind? I've just had me dinner and thinking of pud. Honestly, Amalia, you're setting them up. I would bat them back to you, but seeing as you've had dinner, nothing better than a large portion of pudding afterwards. Oh, the hibiscus. Somebody's definitely spiked it. Oh, the Bad Wolf Project. You know, should I get into this? Should I get into giving you some value, or other than you lot? That obviously that's contrary to radio rules, because I'm only ever broadcasting to one individual. But the Bovril, when you were at LBC, those were the great days, Adrian of LBC. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. But I'm not going to go down that route tonight, the Bovril, or a fondant fancy. There's nothing better, Peter Rees Jones. Oh, a fondant fancy. Or an apple pie. Just ask American Pie. But you know, you're talking about a fondant fancy. I do this Christmas. I have had a beautiful apple pie, and it had, you know, the squirty cream. I put some squirty cream on top. I had a cream pie for Christmas, me. Not a Turkish delight, BG Cool. Although I do like Rose Turkish delight. But that particular cream pie went down very well, and well, all I can say is it was it made my Christmas. Nap, Christmas pudding, mince pies, trifle, bickish, chocolate, decisions. Have them all at once, Amalia. It's Christmas. Goodwill to all men and women. That includes you. Have them all at once. Although I also like mince pies with a thin film of fur on the top. Look, I'm from the north, so I like a little hairy pie. I mean, there's nothing wrong in that. We're talking Turkish delight. Have you had any Turkish delight? Coming round you. Absolutely. Eve's pudding and custard. Eve's? Who's Eve? Not Adam and Eve. Keir Starmer is a fan of the patisserie. He's partial to a creamy blow-throw. But no, that's a creamy horn, isn't it? Blow-throw? What's a bloody blow-throw? I thought it was a creamy horn. Garen Davis, I bet Starmer likes his cream pies. I'm sure he does. He's got 2 kids. Robert Norman says, I thought you like Battenberg. Any port in a storm, Robert. I do like Battenberg. And not for the reasons that everybody knows. I like brandy butter, Amalia. Vixtex, Turkish delight. Fries, Turkish delight. Has to be fries. Because I go to my Turkish barber. They try to bribe me every time I go in. And they say, oh, would you like some Turkish delight? Well, have you made it in your own fair hand last night? And they always say, oh, yes. Upside down apple sponge. And I'm guaranteeing you that even though I believe I have the most intelligent and educated audience on YouTube, I am literally traumatizing people because Les doesn't know what a cream pie is. But he likes Eve's pudding because it's upside down, apple sponge. Really? After 8 minutes, says Stephen Hall. I was, Des. I'm not going to repeat that, though. You can do party tricks with yum-yums, or is it yam-yams? I did go... see, yam in the northeast means home. It's like I'm ganning yam. It means I'm going home. So I go to Scotland. I'm living in Scotland. And one of the girls says, oh, are you going to go and have some yam-yams? I said, well, the bloody hell's a yam-yam? Well, it's like a sweet treat. I said, if you're offering... I used to like eating mess and hanky-panky. I'm sure, Lionel, I'm sure I've seen those videos on YouTube. 3 times tonight, the wife has asked me why Battenberg keeps getting mentioned. Les, don't tell her. Don't. She'll never recover from it. Go on, tell her. Tell her it's a Christmas present. Eve's pudding, Blumenek, you've taken me back to the 70s. I haven't had that since then. Or Eve's pudding. Loved it, but can't really remember what it is. Oh, Comic Mania's weighed in with Spangles. Do you know, it's... Look, I'm going to talk about this week because I can see apricot crumble drowned in ambrosia custard. Oh, you pervert, Lewis. Y'all naughty, says Vixtex. I think we're all a bit giddy tonight. I think we're all a bit giddy because Christmas is kind of gone and we want the excitement back, please. We can't wait another 12 months for Christmas. I mean, there's Peter Rees-Jones talking about baked Alaska. I thought it was cold up there. Fatima was the only Turkish delight I ever knew. Napoleon blown apart. Did you get caught, though? That's the question, Napoleon blown apart. Cuban Pete, 1. So, hang on a second. So, Andrew James, we know, I don't think Stuart's in the body of the Kirk tonight because he's not said hello. But Stuart and I know the Toblerone joke. You can definitely do party tricks with Toblerone, but according to Sir Andrew James at Vixtex, you can also do party tricks with dime bars. I'm all ears, said Dumbo. Christmas doesn't end till January the 6th. Good point, Amalia. Very good point. So, yes. I'm of an age now where fireworks are not really doing it for me. Well, once you've seen one Roman candle go off, they're all exactly the same, just slightly different shapes. So, evening, Adrian and everyone. Peter Sadler. Peter, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Comic Mania, tell us the Toblerone joke, AD. Comic Mania, you'll be traumatized and you won't come back to the life. Brr, brr. That's the sound it makes. What band is she in? Oh, what? Fatima stocked Mars bars. What can I say? Napoleon blown apart. You're talking about Mick Jagger and what's her face? She died this year, 2025. Marianne Faithfull and the Mars bar. I mean, it does bring to mind the old phrase like chucking a Mars bar up the Mersey Tunnel, according to Mick Jagger. Well, there was a knock on the door. The Rozzers were going to break in and find all the gear, and they found Mick Jagger entertaining Marianne Faithfull with a Mars bar. VD Cool's the magician. He can make a pizza disappear. Lionel says, my Roman candle hasn't gone off for years. See the doctor, they'll give you a pill for it. Hang on a second, what's this? Government to review information failures in the case of British Egyptian activist, says PM's, as PM says, whatever he says is going to be bollocks. Let me just get rid of that. So it's all kicking off And this is the thing that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I mean, I don't really have any idea of what we're going to talk about. It's the Monday between Christmas and New Year, and I mean, normally the politicians actually bagger off for like a week, 10 days or so that we can get some respite from their rollicks. But do you not agree that kind of in between Christmas and New Year, it's sort of, and I'll title it for you, it's the week that doesn't exist. It doesn't. So I would suggest that this between Christmas and New Year is the strangest week of the year. And time gently, politely steps aside. I mean, the calendar is still saying it's 2025, but our bodies disagree. I'm going to ask you a straight question. No need to answer. I just want you to reflect on this. I bet you don't even know what day it is. And I guarantee you, either today or yesterday, you've had to ask somebody, what day is it? And somebody's gone, I don't know. Should we check the clock or the newspapers? I mean, even your emails in between Christmas and New Year begin with apologies. And the news yesterday and today feels oddly thin. I mean, I would suggest that the news has been on Ozempic for 9 months. It's like sort of wearing yesterday's clothes. I mean, how many times have you changed your clothes since Wednesday? How wonderful is it just to kind of relax on Christmas Day and Boxing Day? Well, other than when the family come round, but doing absolutely naff all in your pyjamas. Not matching pyjamas, because that's a crime against humanity. But this is if I may be so bold, it's a week that just doesn't exist. We have all this excitement leading up to Christmas, and then poof, and it hasn't finished yet. We've still got to get to Thursday morning going, oh, am I hungover? I think I might be. Did I drink last night? How many times have you said that on New Year's Day? Oh, did I drink last night? Well, it was you that was hoiling it down your neck. So this week sits between, I would suggest it sits between the performance of Christmas, because that's exactly what Christmas is, and then the promise of New Year. New Year, new you, all that rollicks. So I would suggest that it sits between nostalgia, ritual, and intention for the new year. It's between remember when and this time next year. God blimey, do we have to go through that again? Because this week doesn't really belong to anything. But I will suggest to you that something really fascinating happens. The guard drops. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how people suddenly become more honest? Because they don't have to be nice to your face now. The Christmas out of the way. Because if you haven't bought them a present, well, then you're getting it. And if you have bought them a present, they don't have to be nice to you anymore because they own the presents. So the guard kind of drops in this week in between Christmas and New Year. And until this year, I always thought that institutions slow down. I mean, maybe some of the NHS and doctors and nurses kind of get a little bit of time off and a little bit of pressure drop. And then you've got the Rozzers who are working. I'm sure that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Eve and the New Year's Day for the Thin Blue Line is possibly one of the worst of the year. It's not like any other day of the year. It's just, I'm sure it just goes boom at 7 o'clock on New Year's Eve, and then they get to the end of their shift the next day at whatever time, because cops can be held on till God only knows, until the 3rd of January without any sleep or refreshments. And people, it's just, honestly, I'm sure there's not worse days of the year. And those institutions, some do, some don't. Politicians, I mean, they're speaking carelessly. Even Starmer's come out, not out, but I'm sure that will eventually happen. I've told you before, it's the old adage. As the Romans used to say back 2,000 years ago when Yeshua was around, the Jewish rabbi that the kiddie fiddlers in Rome nicked and made him head of their church. If he ever existed. Oh, the Chinese, I think they've got some paperwork on him. I think he went into Tibet and they said, some geezer from Nazareth, Yeshua, Is that the Greek or is that the Aramaic? Don't know. He's not Chinese. Has he been to a local casino yet? He can't be Chinese if he's not been to a casino. So he's in China and he's from that place on the east of the Mediterranean. His dad's called Zhao or Joseph, depends if he's Portuguese or not, which part of the world. But yeah, he's been to Tibet. That's where he learned Reiki. Just wasn't called Reiki then. So, look, I'm not a politician. I can say anything I want about anybody. Because just prove to me, without quoting scripture, the Bible, because the Bible's worth nought, because the Council of Nicaea, they got together and went, right, lads, who's up for Matthew, Mark, Luke and John? In that order, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, raise your hands. Put the choir boys down first. Raise your hands. And right, we'll put them in. We can't change the Torah, so we're going to have to put that in the Old Testament. We'll just say that's like the old bit. We're the new bit. So what we're going to do about Galatians? What do you mean, Pope? Well, Galatians, it tells everybody that the Abrahamic religions, that's Judaism and Muslims, well, Abraham didn't exist. He was allegory. As was Isha, allegory. So the kids didn't exist, allegory, just stories that we made up on the fly. So what we're going to do, I'll just fiddle with the kids and see how long it takes them to work us out. Right. They won't work us out by 2025, but it won't be long after when the aliens land and everybody goes, hang on a second, that wasn't in the Bible. So where's the aliens come from? Well, it must have been some far planets far away, according to Star Wars, and religion don't exist. Oh no, what we're going to do? Well, you can give all the bloody money back for a kick-off, and all your works of art. Right, we'll flog those. We'll sell them off to rich Americans, because you know the Americans have got no class really. What about Vatican City? Why don't we turn it into a rave spot? I mean, Paul's underground, you know, the Saint, Peter and Paul. Peter, Paul and where's St. Mary? Oh my God, Vatican City. That's how they got their name. Not Vatican City, Peter, Paul and Mary, because they're all buried under there. St. Mary, mother of Jesus. Peter, Paul and Mary. That's a bit convenient, do you not think? So, what was I going to say? I've just seen something by Albert in the chat. I'll try and get to it in a second. Spaceman came travelling from far away. Yes, Gribbo. And well, when the aliens land, 3i Atlas, anybody? Or were we just being wound up to be frightened, fear porn? Well, I think that's what it was, to be fair. But you got to hedge your bets. You never know nowadays. NASA, they've never been out of this planet. Oh, NASA's been on the moon. Show me. Don't show me the money, because they've wasted billions. So, when the aliens land, everybody will go, oh, David Icke was right. So, people, politicians, speak carelessly in this week of vacuum. The newsrooms, they run on fumes and maybe a bit habit. I mean, can you imagine radio newsrooms going, oh, we've been going with these stories for 3 days, man. Christmas Eve this happened. Are we still going to go with that? Yeah, there's nothing else happening. But what about the terrorist attack in Sunderland? Did you just pronounce Sunderland? Sunderland. You can tell you're not from the bloody northeast. So now everybody's going, oh, there's been a terrorist attack. There's been a terrorist attack in Sunderland today. I'm factual. I'm being serious here. It's been a terrorist attack. So I did my research just before I came on air. It wasn't in Sunderland. It was in bloody Gateshead. Sorry, I'll translate. Gateshead. You know the place where Brendan Foster used to run round the track with Steve Cram, who was from Jarrah, not from Gateshead, and all the fabulous athletic meetings at Gateshead Stadium. Gateshead has the Sage, and Gateshead is not Sunderland. It's closer to Newcastle because it's just across the river, and the people from Gateshead get rather upset because the Geordies nick stuff, and not as in, you know, wheels off the local cars or anything like that. They just go, if it's at the Sage, if there's a concert going on, or if there's an athletics meeting at Gateshead Stadium, they go, it's Newcastle. It's not bloody Newcastle. The people of Gateshead get upset. So the Metro Centre is kind of, it's on that road. It's not really, it's kind of Gateshead, but not, because it's this side of the river. Newcastle's on the other side of the river. So Andrew James, will you get Graham Hancock on your live? I have tried. I have his email and I have tried. I just don't think there's enough subs and views for him. Although he might have, I would suggest he's got another ancient apocalypse or something, aliens or something, coming up in February this year. He's already had 2 series on Netflix. And that's a better name for it, Netflix. If you were listening or watching last night, you'll know what the Netty is. And so he might be just out doing the rounds, publicising that new series. But the terrorist attack, 7 men, there were blokes in police uniforms. They pitched up at the Metro Centre before people got into the Metro Centre because, well, the Metro Centre's really busy, like big and very busy. So they went in and went, right, lads, you've got knives and guns? Yeah, right, pull them down, otherwise we're going to shoot you. We're from Newcastle, Northumbrian police, we don't come out. So that's gone on this afternoon. So it won't make the front page of the newspapers tomorrow because newsrooms are currently running on fumes, and the B team or the C team or even the D team, those that want to get into news journalism and they can't get in. But when the other journalists want holidays, like Christmas and New Year holidays, they get the B, C, D teams in. And you won't see it anywhere in the news. It's not being, the mainstream media not being allowed to cover it. So the Metro Centre is technically Gateshead, but the Geordies will nick it. The Geordies will go, no, it's Newcastle, it's Metro Centre. And it is like, I know Sir John Hall, personally. Sir John Hall built the Metro Centre and made a few bob. Rural Fox. Who's bloody Rural Fox, Lewis? Brilliant, Les. So that's not going to hit the mainstream media, I'm telling you. And the only reason I'm telling you is not because I'm affronted because seemingly it was a terrorist attack and people had knives and guns, from what the reporting that I've seen. But it's not even Sunderland. Somebody's gone, oh, yeah, it's in Sunderland, the Mackhams. And I thought, I'll pick up me phone. I'll go and ring me family. Armed police swooped on a multi-storey car park after an argument broke out over a disabled parking space. EV charging point. Is that what it was, Bad Wolf Project? So even my sources, you see, they just kind of bigged it up. And can you imagine? I'm going to get me Glock out. Really? In public? You'll get arrested for that. Brilliant, Des. I thought the best thing out of Newcastle was the A1. I agree with you. Although I have had some uproarious nights. I worked at Walker's nightclub in Newcastle. Enigma Blue, yeah, hit the like, peeps. See if we can get it over 100 while I'm still yakking away. So this terrorist attack, guns and knives. So you've got to ask the question. I mean, it was. Let me just get me thingy there. An argument broke out over a disabled parking space. Like I say, this is 4 hours or so ago. So if they're arguing over a disabled parking space, how many disabled people do you know will take out a AK-47 or a Kalashnikov and go, right, you tart, you don't get me space? I don't know any, ever, in the world, in the history of mankind. No. So I'm not sure that they're probably just sweeping it under the carpet. So we'll leave the radio newsrooms alone and just kind of put a full stop at this particular subject. And the world this week, you can't remember what day it is. I don't even know what time it is. So the world this week, just for a moment, stops pretending it's in control. You see, that's why this week matters. Not because there's disabled parking spaces, EV charging point being fought over at the Metro Centre. Because when, how can I liken this? When the machinery of life pauses, you hear the gears grinding underneath. I mean, how many times have you had your gears grinding since the bonhomie of Christmas Day? You see, you notice what's wobbling. Too much Christmas pud. And you know, and you notice what's tired. And then we kind of get to yesterday and today, where Christmas is just, I mean, it feels ancient, doesn't it? But you notice what's being propped up by routine rather than belief. I mean, are we sleepwalking through things? Are we sleepwalking being with families and friends and the same food at the same time? I would suggest to you, and when I said Twixmas last night, I bet you thought, oh, another chocolate bar. I don't know whether I can take one of them. Sister Mary can. She'll take both both fingers of a Twix. She loves them. She'll eat them all day, every day. But Twixmas wasn't empty. It was revealing. Just stop me doing any more gags about Sister Mary tonight, otherwise I am going to get into trouble. If you look at this week in between Christmas and New Year, it's the week where the truth leaks out sideways, whether it's Andrew Battenberg, the artist formerly known as Prince, or whether it's Keir Starmer getting heat because of an Egyptian fella. It's not through announcements. It's more through timing and tone and absence, because the machinery of life likes to lie by omission. It'll tell you everything else other than the truth. So if you're paying attention, this Twixmas is where you feel the next year before it arrives. Give it a squeeze. Impress your friends, impress your family tomorrow. Just go. Some people will go, what, come see, come sa? No, it's the youth, 6-7. It's the 6-7 dance. And even Keir Starmer, the jelly wobbler, he's doing this with some 7-year-old kid. He's doing this with some 7-year-old kid. And the head teacher had to take him to one side after he'd be going, yeah, shall we do the 6-7 dance? The head mistress, why do they call them head mistresses? Don't they know that's a certain phraseology in BDSM? Can't mention it, seemingly. YouTube doesn't like it. I can say it to you. You try putting it in the comments. So I always wondered why they would say, headmistress! Oh, yes, please. What? Did I say something? I was taking a drink of me hibiscus. You're wronging. So I'm going to ask you, be honest with me. Everybody is laughing. That's totally unfair. Lauren Taylor, what, your neighbour? What happened to your neighbour? John Raymond Taylor, Ginger, R.I.P. John Taylor. Really? John Taylor as in Duran Duran John Taylor? Ginger. You'll have to explain. Hang on. I see you, says. What does that mean? 6-7. It's Desashin. I thought the badge read head prefect. Well, you know these private schools. You go. Hang on, everybody. Les has just told the wife about Battenberg. We better all stand back because I think it's going to kick off in Les's house. DJ Ginger. Thought you liked Northern Soul, Rev. I do. He's not one of the biggies, though. There's an uprising going on in Iran. Oh, Lionel, do you want me to kind of knock that one out of the park? I'm gonna make some predictions. Oh, Stephen Hall, Car 6-7 by Driver 6-7. I do remember that, and seemingly it was one of the Queen Mother's favourite songs. Car 6-7, Driver 6-7. Yeah, we'll get to Iran. I'll talk about Iran in just when I'm going to give me predictions for 2026. Because I was... Les Griffiths. That's the joke I've been trying to crack, Les. I went to an all-boys school where head boy meant something else. I've really had jaw ache. Stephen Hall says their follow-up, or was this Andrew James, their follow-up single was very creepy, was it? Lauren Taylor. Ginger was a famous soul DJ. He's not from the Northeast. I'll have to have a look. Gang, says Vix Tex. So I'm going to ask you a question. Be honest. You don't have to put it in the comments, but you can. So let's do a. I know you like the interaction. So 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for. Oh, I don't know. I'm not from this planet. So be honest. Do you know what day it is? Until I mentioned it, had you spoken to somebody today and gone, what day is it? So do you know what day it is today? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for, oh, the meds are kicking in. I see you saying, what is 6-7, please? Lionel says, I was only the ink monitor. Les Griffiths. Joy, you've been talking to my missus, Adrian. Everybody's being honest. Was Lassie head girl? Oh! Yes, it's Monday, said Sandra. No, ain't got a clue. So 1, you don't know what day it is. 2, you do. And 3, the meds haven't kicked in yet. Yes, but not born and bred. I'm an incomer. What was I just talking about there? It looks like a fair few TBT MILF monitor. Yeah, there's Thatcher, the MILF snatcher. Amalia says, yes, dreading tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow, Amalia? Do you get sort of Thursday, Friday off as bank holidays, and then they add the weekend on, and then today was like a normal working day? Or is it tomorrow? Is there an extra one in there for some unknown reason? Everybody's saying, no, I don't know what day it is. I see you, says 5. So the U Bovril and Catwoman Jones, welcome to the body of the Kirk Catwoman Jones. Kaz and Vix Tex, Stephen Hall, Tom Harney's Comic Mania. I've just seen your comment again, still makes me laugh. Legalista, Robert Norman, Sir Andrew James, Simon Simons, BD Cool, Barry Wright, Big Barry Wright. Sandra, yeah, it's Monday. Lionel, everybody's going, oh, no. But Lionel says, but my favourite nurse came today. How did you manage that, Lionel? Couple of bishop's fingers. No, don't tell him off, Lewis. That's quite a funny gag. Lauren Taylor, don't have the squint and the hump on your back then. I don't know what day it is for 365 days of the year, says Les. So, I'll kind of ask another question. Is this seemingly non-week where we get to breathe, your favourite week? That's one. It's a favourite week because it's in between Christmas and New Year and nobody cares. Or is it a really unsettling week where you can't remember what day it is until you get to New Year's Eve and it's like, oh, have we only got 3 days left off work? Oh, Marley, I hope it goes well for you. Pip benefits review. Sick to my stomach with fear. You've got our support, Amalia. I hope it goes well for you. The Bad Wolf Project, seeing positivity. It's only 361 days until Christmas Day 2026. I see you. Yeah, Google it because it's mucky. And I'm on my best behaviour tonight, seemingly. Just want January to be over, Enigma Blue. Well, sister of Bonnie, is that, or brother of Bonnie, is that, is anybody doing dry January? Or do they only do dry January because they ran out of money because they bought so much grog over Christmas? Wow, Rusty's roamings. Some of us have work during Twixmas. The lucky ones, Rusty's roamings. There's been many times when I've worked Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve was horrible, horrible, horrible. Simon says too. So no, it's unsettling. So is this week a bit unsettling for you? Yes or no? Is this week unsettling for you? And I would say that this week between Christmas and New Year doesn't really shout about anything. I mean, Christmas is Christmas. But this week sort of whispers. Although it isn't a literal hangover, but it feels like this week is completely hungover in front of our very eyes. And I would suggest that it's the illusion of pause versus reality of momentum. I don't know whether you've been following the Des Ashton 6. It's no. Vix text, yes. Feckin' Easter eggs are on sale already, Les Griffiths. You know that Volodymyr Zelensky, that's the head boy. See what I did there? Pay attention. Gag was cracked earlier. So Sniffy Zelensky, head boy of Ukraine, he's been across to see the Donald, and the Donald's gone, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll visit Ukraine and continue the talks." And everybody's gone, "How are you, man, Donald? It's bloody Christmas, man. What are you doing?" So we've had these peace talks in between Christmas and New Year. I mean, I'm sure Ukraine, because they've got a new ski resort opening in Ukraine, where, bizarrely, loads of rich Ukrainians were skiing. I thought they should have been at the front line fighting Russia, unless there's not a war going on. I don't understand why this week's been chosen for peace. Is it the goodwill to all men, including head boy Volodymyr Zelensky? Is it optics versus substance? Is it the way it looks rather than actually what they're talking about? Or is it genuinely peace talks or bloody pantomime? I mean, whenever peace talks are announced, the first thing I look at isn't the wording, it's the timing. Because timing tells you who this is really for. And I don't know whether the Russians celebrate Christmas, but when negotiations happen during the dead week of the year, pun intended, that's when attention is low. I mean, I'm going to give you two words. Two words. Pay attention. I'm going to give you two words. Michel Mon. Are you aware that PPE MedPro has been wound up? And it was just before Christmas, a couple of days before Christmas, it was wound up. Why? Because they've had a demand to repay £148 million. Now, they were given 200, and there's a demand for them to repay 148 of them. So they've just wound the company up. Is it limited liability? So that's why people have put stories out just before Christmas, because attention is low. We're distracted by being loving to our family. And then Boxing Day comes round and it all kicks off again. Scrutiny is soft because the journos are too busy having large ones. And journalists are half present. And that is a euphemism. I would say half cut, not half present. And that's not accidental. Everything's about timing. But you know what this is? In my view, it's choreography. Well, Strictly's finished, so somebody's got to be dancing. I mean, it doesn't mean that peace is impossible, but it does mean that optics are in play. Wars don't stop for Christmas unless you're Paul McCartney. They pause for headlines. And the Paul McCartney song, Pipes of Peace, is a genuine thing. There was if I can remember off the top of my head, it was an old boy from Scotland, Edinburgh, who was there, who arranged the football match on Christmas Day, where the Germans and the English played. I mean, the Germans disputed some of our goals, but they still stood, thanks to the Russian referee. And everybody went back to fighting. Pipes of Peace. And I'm sure you would agree that there's something deeply modern about announcing serious discussions during a week traditionally reserved for leftovers and vague resolutions. I mean, are we going to get vague about resolutions? Leftovers? No such thing in my house. Every morsel is eaten. Don't throw food away. How very de rigueur. So, doing stuff in this dead week creates ambiguity. I would suggest hope without commitment. Oh, I'll come over to Ukraine. How much raw materials do you still have left? Is there any oil underground? Is there any gas? Can I come across and take a look? I would suggest that this meeting, this pantomime, not peace talks, creates expectation without clarity. Ambiguity is useful, of course, but if the talks succeed, Trump's going to look like a visionary. Melania, put Baron down. He's 7 foot tall now. He doesn't need breastfeeding anymore, according to his girlfriend. And I'm going to Ukraine for a couple of days. You don't mind, do you, Melania? You've got a book coming out in January, so you're going to be busy. I'm fecking off to Ukraine. Cold, but I don't care. So if the talks succeed, which they will, then Trump just looks like a visionary. Win-win, 5D chess. And if they fail, well, you quietly just move on and go, right, yeah, wrong uns. Volodymyr, the pair of you, I'll bang your heads together unless you come over to the White House and we have a meeting again. Because these peace talks are going to succeed. But the calendar, in between Christmas and New Year, helps you forget. You see, that's why Twixmas diplomacy is fascinating. It sits right on the fault line between, well, genuine intent and performative signalling. Pantomime, anyone? And the public? Well, you're left asking the same question every single year. Is this a step towards peace? Can we have peace in Ukraine with the Russians and the Ukrainians? Yeah, of course. So long as the Russians get all the oil and the gas in the Black Sea. Oh, they've not mentioned that, have they not? Oh, right. Well, there you go. The Donbass, that's where all the bloody oil is. That's where they're going to extract all the oil from the Black Sea. The Turks want a bit and the Bulgarians want a bit. But the Russians want most of it. But you could say no record of 160 million paid to MedPro in the last 5 years, according to Companies House filings. I bet there's not. Creative accounting. They definitely got 200 million. Wasn't 160, it was 200. And they made, I think they were asking for between 27 and 30 million in profit, which 200 million, it's only 15%, not a great business. Les Griffiths, very good point. I'd rather Russia got the oil than the EU. I mean, the EU, they're a bit like, you know, when you're in school, in comprehensive, years 1 to 5, there's always the sort of sixth formers, the Johnny Big Bollocks, who kind of throw their weight around. That's what the EU's trying to do to Trump and America and Russia. Like, we're sixth formers. And Trump and Putin are just laughing their heads off. She's had 7 kids, Vladimir. It'll be whistling in the wind when it gets up, the wind. 7 kids? Jesus. Does she like breastfeeding or something? Or is this whole pantomime just the sound of positioning before January? And maybe the Ruskies have gone, Donald, we're doing dry January. Can you give us something to take me mind off it? Because, I can't drink any vodka or anything in January. It's dry January. Can't say that to the bloody Ukrainians. They'll be saying, well, what about the oil? What about the gas? I'm not even going to ask whether you trust the peace talks or not. And should negotiations ever be public? So I would suggest to you, in all asides, peace is never announced. It shouldn't be. It should just arrive quietly, or even not at all in some cases. You see, This is why wars love holidays, and history backs this up. Let's find out, because we'll watch all the fireworks over sort of from Australia all the way through the world, and it'll go through the UK, not Europe, because Europe wouldn't allow it. If it's probably brought in some law saying no, we can't televise fireworks because well, it upsets people, especially in Ukraine. They think of the bombs going off, and then America goes, oh bloody hell, man! The UK, they've got New Year's Day before us, and we go, oh yeah, well, Australia's got it before us. But as I've said to you many times, watch what Australia's doing, and Canada, because it'll come to us next, because they're all weft puppets, man. They're all the New Zealand, what's her face, Ardern, she must have had a cold, and then you've got the what's his face, the ex-Bank of England head. Lots of that going on tonight. Mark, what's his face? And he's now head of Canada and bringing in laws in Canada, and the Canadians are like, holy Jesus, he's doing what? And the Australians are saying, holy Jesus, he's doing what? Hang on. Les Griffiths says, the president of Nigeria, hello, has demanded Trump return one of the captured tankers as well as paying compensation or else. Can you imagine? Donald, mate, you've taken one of me tankers. I thought you were a merchant banker, not a merchant tanker. So just give us the tanker back because it's full of oil. It's worth a few bob. I'll pay compensation. And then Donald will go, we won't bomb your country. Is that okay? Nigeria. Isn't that where Anthony Joshua was? Was he like undercover? He wasn't wearing any clothes. Must have been bloody wham. So I would also suggest to you that US politics is just one long-running soap opera. It's like the reality show that never ends. It is the Truman Show in America. Insults become fundraising tools. Conflict is content. It's money. Politics is entertainment. I've told you a million times that politics, American and British and some European, it's the entertainment arm of the military-industrial complex. So I would very strongly suggest that American politics no longer wants to be believed. It wants to be watched. The language has shifted. Outrage is currency. Oh, you can't say that, you fat tart. No. Do they talk like that in Mississippi? No, you fat tart. No, Washington, D.C., we're all scarpering like rats. And because they're all being found out, the corruption is being outed, whatever corruption you're talking about. I mean, Epstein had it, right? Bad Wolf Project. Jake Paul in Nigeria clipping brake pipes. No, I think it was his brother Logan. Not very happy that they lost a shit ton of money. So outrage, now, and I've told you this before, the indignant morality of today's society, where people go, you can't say that. Why not? It's only language. Yeah, you can't, because I'll be offended. Really? Are you that easy to offend? Yeah. Really? What colour's your hair? That doesn't matter. I'm outraged that you've asked what the colour of my hair is. Would you be offended if I told you to fuck off? Oh my word! I'm going to go and see me mum. I'm going to go and see me mum because you've got a potty mouth, and you've got a potty mouth, so my mum will come round and beat your mum up. She a lard ass? What you saying? Well, if she's a big girl, just send your dad round. Don't know who my dad is. Ah, well. So outrage is currency now. In the newspapers and in social media, I'm outraged. I really. And insults are assets now. The Donald will be Les Griffiths. Q. Enjoy the show. Exactly. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to get bouncy. 2026, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And now people, like in America, the left, the Democrats, or anybody on the left politically, they've just run out of options. They're now throwing insults and people are going, thanks very much. The Donald's like, really? You're just trying to insult me? I'm an 80-odd-year-old bloke, man. Was he 79? I'm a 79-year-old bloke. I don't care, sticks and stones. And now in 2025, attention is the only metric that matters. So if you look at how the language has shifted, you look at outrage and insults, and attention is the only metric that matters for the social media companies. Doom scrolling, doom scrolling. I mean, if you look at the news, and this is why I've tried to balance things out with the last few lives over Christmas, because every moment is being framed like an episode cliffhanger. Oh, bloody hell! Anthony Joshua's been in a car crash. Oh, Roger me, senseless. 2 people died. Oh, no! Car crashes happen all the time. Just because it involves a sporting superstar, if you will, the newspapers, it'll be front page of the newspapers tomorrow. Oh, he's meeting friends. He's meeting family. He's got some family in Nigeria. So every moment is framed like an episode cliffhanger. Keir Starmer, he's going to get sacked. Really? Yeah. Donald Trump, they're going to get rid of him. Really? Yeah. Just wait. Just wait till we find all the corruption. Like what? Well, like the Epstein files. And then every argument becomes a storyline. There's Adam Peaty and his what's his face's bride, and his mother's like, oh, I wasn't invited to the wedding. Oh well. And it's a family argument. Look at the bloody Beckhams. The Beckhams, the amount of column inches they're getting for nout because Brooklyn's gone, here, how do we end shite? I've had enough of you, mother. I've had enough of you, father. So I'm off to marry the daughter of a billionaire. And you upset her at our wedding. So that's my wife. So in the words of the great Chinese philosopher, you can foxtrot Oscar. Oh, Brooklyn, no need to be like that. You can't come to our home in the Cotswolds anymore. I don't care. It's a bloody family argument. It's now a storyline that's been promulgated in the newspapers every bloody day. And every scandal, it's monetised before it's understood. Now, there's this, I don't know whether you know the story. There's a 3-part doc on Netflix about the mushroom murderer. You know her in Australia? The mushroom murderer, where she baked a beef Wellington. I've got to be very careful how I say this. But she baked a beef Wellington and some people died. 1 didn't, 3 did. And every time a scandal breaks, whether it's Hugh Edwards, whether it's the mushroom murderer, to quote Netflix, or whether it's somebody else that might be the subject of stuff that's ongoing, well, it's monetised because people are now thinking that doing stuff on YouTube and X and Instagram and TikTok is going to get them money for nout. And all the content creators are just eyeballs, eyeballs, eyeballs. They're selling the eyeballs. It's now the business model of the 2020s. But every single scandal, the minute it breaks, look at what happened with Hugh Edwards. The minute it breaks, it's monetised before it's even understood what's going on. And there were people at the BBC who were named as this pervert, and then it had to be Hugh Edwards' wife who named him. And you'll notice the audience, me and you, we're no longer citizens. We're not even subjects of the crown. They call us citizens. They try to. We're no longer citizens. We're viewers. We're observers of the scandal that's being monetised right in front of our eyes. Everybody's trying to get a different angle. Everybody's trying to make money from social media. Grubby. Grubby. So the danger isn't that politics has become entertaining. It's that entertainment has replaced accountability. So look at Angela Rayner. She's not being brought to book. She's not being held accountable for the tax dodge. She's coming back into the cabinet. You've got Rachel Reeves. They're not accountable anymore. It's just entertainment on telly. Because when politics is a show, failure doesn't end careers. It boosts ratings. More people watch. And I can tell when I go for my newspapers on a morning, I can tell when there's a big story breaking or a big story on the front pages, because I've got to get there at least half an hour to 45 minutes earlier than I normally would to be able to get my newspapers. Because all the lazy feckers are like, Hugh Edwards, what? I mean, I've had to go at like 7 o'clock in the morning to get my morning papers, when normally I might go about 8:15. Because the minute a big story, a scandal breaks, Prince Andrew likes his bananas green. Oh, I say, let's go and buy the morning papers. And it's not, as I've said, that politics is entertaining or even become entertaining. Oh, no. Let me just pause. Bad Wolf Project, the MSN, mainstream media, running a story about Kate Griftaway finding love again after she monetised her hubby's death to the tune of £2 million. Social and press and TV and books, not so poor Kate. Oh. As Les, was it Les that said earlier she's getting a portion of Chucky pudding? Google it. It's IE, not Y. Comic Mania says, you're right, AD. I can't believe the incompetence daily, and they get worse. They do, but because it's just fodder for the mainstream media, it's diversions. That's what all they're doing. They're diverting you away from the things that really matter. So Starmer is absolutely doing a blinding job until he gets sacked. And that's coming in 2026. So is Sadiq Khan. Can't tell you why or how. I'm just telling you, Sadiq Khan is going to get sacked. So, entertainment replacing accountability. None of the politicians, the mainstream politicians that sit in your little box like PMQs on a Wednesday, or Rachel Reeves, or Keir Starmer, or Ginger Growler, or any of the others, Fat Lad Lammy, they just tell you to look over there, when actually it's going over there where you need to go. They're professional liars. Politicians, all of them, are professional liars, which is why DJ T is getting away with so much, because he's actually telling the truth. And that's why I told you 18 months ago, when he was going to run for president, he was going to be the savior of America. Their economy is going through the roof at the moment. But 2026 is still going to hold some twists and turns, which I'll tell you about before we finish. So when politics is a show, we can look at them, and failure doesn't end political careers now. It boosts ratings. Contradiction doesn't disqualify. It fuels engagement. So the more you're engaged by what's going on in the Houses of Parliament and by the royals and Klaus and Whiff and all this other stuff, you're not looking at the Bilderbergers, are you? No, you're not looking at the Rockefellers and all the other big bloodlines who've got hundreds of trillions of dollars, who run the banking system and the central banks. You're not even looking at that. And then you're not even looking at the United Nations Agenda 2030. I am going to tell you what's going to happen over the next few years. In just a little while. Look, this is an historical document, so you can check it. And if I get it wrong, look, I'm only human, but if I get it right, I must be bloody David Icke. So, if you look at what's happened over the last 2 weeks, utter chaos. But we were looking for tradition. We were looking for ritual at Christmas. And it was just chaotic. But chaos stops being a problem and becomes the product. Can you understand that? And this isn't uniquely American, but America perfects it. And during Twixmas, if I can use that word, when the rest of the world is half asleep or in a drunken stupor somewhere, the show doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. It never stops. We've now got the politicians front and centre again, when they should be feet up with your slippers on and you know, the kids running around playing Kaplunk, and the missus not poisoning you at Christmas, but allowing you an extra piece of cream pie for Christmas. It's a delicacy in my house. It's that rare, I can't remember the last time I had any cream pie. So when politics becomes entertainment, governance becomes optional. I mean, can you imagine? But I also want to say this to you. I've looked at, taken a sort of 360 view of what's going on. And you know that the Times Square ball is being changed. Tradition is being rebranded. For the first time in God knows how many decades, they're actually changing the Times Square ball. Obviously, it's not as well hung as it used to be. Must be the cold in New York. So Christmas is morphing. Rituals are being updated, like the latest Windows operating system. Just like any software, whether it's Apple or whether it's Windows. But they're not actually, this ritual and our traditions are being rebranded without actually asking the users. That's me and you. So every culture around the world will tell you what it values by what it preserves. I'm not talking jam. And every culture will tell you what it's losing by what it redesigns. I mean, I can go with some of the one thing that I love about going to work in a new city or town is its buildings, its architecture. Like Sunderland, like the docks in Sunderland or Newcastle. I know I take the mickey out of the Geordies. And even Middlesbrough. Or you go into North Yorkshire, York and Leeds, over in Liverpool. They had the most beautiful architecture, some fantastic buildings. But what has the culture in the north of England? And kind of that goes for London. Oh, we've got the London Eye. We've got towers galore, and the night sky in London it changes because they change the buildings. It's redesigning our culture. Our culture sits within the buildings that we have built for hundreds of years. Not to go too deep and off and a bit nerdy on buildings, but everything's being redesigned into flat pack houses and buildings. The Bad Wolf Project. I go to Liverpool once a year just to visit my alloy wheels. Brilliant. I knew I was going to trip over that before I even said it. So 2025, we're living in an age where nothing is allowed to remain untouched, including northern women. Traditions updated. Rituals refreshed. I mean, now we haven't even got Chris Rea driving home for Christmas anymore. Meaning is sanded down for accessibility. And it always comes with the same language. Modernisation, inclusivity, and relevance. They're saying we can't do stuff in a Christian country because of diversity and inclusivity and relevance. Just had away and shite, man. Sometimes that is true, but sometimes it's just, I would suggest, nervousness. Because rituals don't survive by being trendy. Look at Jaguar. Oh, yeah, what we're going to do is, we're going to change the colour of everything and we're going to make it really, 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 we'll transition Jaguar. Really? Yeah, we're going to make it pink. Everything. Yeah. Go woke, go broke. Jaguars had to sack the guy that did it all, and they've had to go, no. Our core audience, those that would buy Jaguar after Jaguar after Jaguar, have walked off and bought something else. Larders. I would suggest to you that rituals that we've just experienced at Christmas don't survive by being trendy. They survive by being anchoring. It returns us to who we were, or a version of ourselves that we quite enjoyed when we were little. Father Christmas, family time, loads of food. It takes us back and anchors us in that time where we were, for a moment, happy. These rituals slow time, and they repeat. Must be the sprouts. And they resist optimization. I think, I don't know about you, but that makes modern institutions uncomfortable. I just want me favourite films on the telly. I want to hear me favourite songs. I don't want somebody telling me, oh, this album or that song, or we've made a new version of. No, I want to be anchored in my emotions that come from when I was a kid. Remember when we'd break up from school? And then we had 2 weeks off. We even had a Christmas party at school. Bloody hell. Free food. Lovely. I'll get fed this year. And then you have the Christmas party. You get home and you think, oh, all this food in the larder, in the fridge, in the house. Fantastic. I can eat. I mean, as a teenage boy, I could literally eat 3 families out of house and home. All teenage boys can, because we just shovel it down like a dustbin. But I want to be anchored to that, because that brings me joy. Don't modernize anything. Just allow me my joy. And don't tell me I can't, because I'll tell you to Foxtrot Oscar. I want to walk around the streets safe. I want to walk around the streets and hear the Sally Bash, the Sally Army, and they're blowing their funky horns, or having their cream horns on their brakes. But what happens to us? Our rituals are tweaked. Other people polish it so that they improve. We don't want them improved. We want to remember them how our emotions designed them and anchored them. And then one day, me and you will look around and realise, oh, thing still exists. I did your favourite Christmas film of all time on one of the lives last week. And it still is. It's a Wonderful Life. Can you imagine if the TV channels turned around and said, we're not showing that this year? There literally would be civil unrest. And you showed me the beauty of ritual and the beauty of your emotion and the beauty of your experiences. Growing up and get into adulthood, maybe into later life, but hot horse chestnuts. Lewis makes them run quicker. Comic Mania, nail on the head. You can say that again. UK food is sugar, salty or bland. And you know, just for a couple of days a year out of 365 of them, stop trying to steal our joy. Not only are they the Grinch, or whatever institution that may be, some things still exist, but they no longer hold anything. They don't anchor us to our emotions that we bring with us every year. Whether you've got kids or grandkids, you just want to have them experience what you experienced as a child, as a teenager, as a 20, 30, 40-something, because it anchors us as a family. Whether that's the collective, like the theatre of the mind, or your own personal family in your own home. I'm not going to get on to asking you any questions about what we should and shouldn't do about that, because there's other things that I want to get to, maybe on another live, because the next live is, unless I throw an emergency one, I'm not going to be here New Year's Eve, and I've still got 15-20 minutes to go of this one, because I've got some other stuff I want to talk to you about. LinkedIn, Venezuela and Hungary, which I told you about 3 years ago, and I want to make some predictions for 2026 for you, because I know you quite like that. Hang on, let me have a look, see what Enigma Blue's saying. Vix text, great film, Humphrey Bogart. Yeah. Amazon Prime cut 22 minutes out of It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, man, the bloody heathens. So that's why I buy DVDs, because you can still use them on computers. I still buy DVDs very cheaply, wonderfully. So let's make some predictions for 2026, shall we? Now, if you remember the letters, Liz Truss, and I laugh my cap off at that woman. Oh, I'm starting my new channel on YouTube. I'm a content creator and I'm going to tell you all of the deep state secrets. Really? I bet you don't. Because they'll kill you. They did to Diana. Stopped her from having a Muslim child as a half brother or sister to the future King of England. That was never allowed to happen, was it? No, Liz. And Liz Truss, she wants us to trust her. But I noticed in the latest interview that she gave, she didn't have a day collar on. Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But Helmenja, day collar, who's her dominant? Is it her husband or somebody else? She's never told you about the day collar. So how can you trust somebody who might actually lie by omission? And then you've got, she said to us when she was Prime Minister, yeah, we're going to have power cuts. And that's always stuck with me. Because she's been to WEF. She's been to Davos. Because there's many a slip between cup and lip. And Liz, she said, there's going to be power cuts. And I thought to myself, oh, I say, has young Klaus been saying to young Liz, Liz, can I pop over and see you at Portcullis House? Oh, yes, Klaus. I have lots of visitors. Can't see my lips move. I'm surprised they didn't soundproof her office. So, I don't know what you're talking about, Adrian. Me neither. Whose office? I don't know. So Liz Truss, not connected or to what I've just said at all, but Liz Truss told her there was going to be power cuts. So what has to happen? It's really simple. Forget UN Agenda 2030, because that is coming. There's nothing you can do to stop that. And your carbon footprint will mean you can't travel. You can't do certain things. And digital ID, they don't care. They're laughing in your face. What, you think you're going to stop it? I've told you what to do. I told you months ago. I bet you haven't fucking done it. So to pause it there, let me tell you about my experience of LinkedIn today. So I've got a LinkedIn profile. And I thought, I need to kind of just bring all my social media footprint together so it's more manageable. So I went into LinkedIn and it's exactly the same as all the others. Yo, 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 never stops, rush, 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 never stop, never stop, never stop. Everybody's going to post, rush, 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 rush. And I thought, this is fucking chaos. What do I want this for? How many chief execs are going to go, oh, I say, Adrian, loved your post about bollocks. And then something pops up on my screen while I'm trying to figure it all out. Something pops up on my screen. Oh, you need to be verified. And I thought, is it free? So they have to verify who I am. Now, remember, 3 months ago, they told directors of firms that they have to be verified to stay directors of firms. So you know what's happening, don't you? Digital ID is going to the upper echelons, the money people, before it comes down to me and you. So I thought, all right then. I mean, I've deleted the NHS app off my phone. I still get texts from the doctors. And I'm going to go to the doctors and go, why are you sending me text? Well, have you got the NHS app? No, deleted it. I'm not having digital ID on my telephone. Oh, well, we need to be in touch with you. Pick the fucking phone up and call me. That's how it used to work 40 years ago. We never missed a beat 40 years ago. Now, you couldn't. Ineptitude reigns. So, don't send me a text, you heathen. Call me. I'll allow that. Or send me a fucking letter. Will that cost you? Oh, sorry. It's going to cost the surgery money. So you're not going to go do it, are you? The surgery is a profit centre, of course. So I'm having a look at this. So I've kind of kicked that into touch. So I'm looking at this LinkedIn. And it says, right, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, we've identified via your telephone number and via your email. And now we want you to go and get your government ID. And I thought, I haven't got government ID. I've got a driving license. No, driving license wasn't good enough. They wanted a copy of my passport. What the foxtrot do they want my passport details for? It's a social media platform. So what did I do? Delete. Why do you want a copy of my passport? Oh, because it's got this biometric thing on it, and we want the details of your biometrics. It's digital ID being brought in by the back door, and I am not a fan of the back door. Giving, not taking. So if the government are trying to do anything to me via the back door, they know what they're going to do. I'm going to gin the feckers. Not that I'm a violent man at all. It's metaphorical, of course. But the cheeky bar stewards at LinkedIn wanting the biometrics off my passport. I don't need your platform. I don't need to be on there. What? So I can watch other people go, rush, 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 chaos, 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 chaos. How do we and shite, man? Let's get back to how we used to be, where we used to interface with other human beings. Because our genuine biometrics, our biometric field of the human condition actually enjoys interacting with other human beings, so long as they're good-hearted. So let me go 360. I'm just telling you that as a pause to Liz Truss and what she was telling us. I mean, I want to know whether Kwasi Kwarteng, who was the Chancellor of the Exchequer at the time, whether he shorted the pound because the pound took a dive. Who was it that made money and shorted on the pound in Liz Truss's government? I want to know. Was it Liz Truss herself? Was it Kwasi Kwarteng, the Chancellor of the Exchequer? Because if you look at what happened then, shorting means betting on the pound going down. So if they shorted the pound and they made the pound drop, they make money. I've told you before, I do not trust a single politician, any of them, because A, they are professional liars, and B, they're all corrupt. But what did Liz Truss also tell us? There's going to be a cyber attack. There's going to be a cyber attack on energy, which means that the power is going to go down. That's why Putin wants the Donbass and the Black Sea oil and gas. That's why Trump is trying to make America energy independent by having a word with Venezuela. That's why China is doing exactly the same. China is building more coal-powered stations. America, Russia, China, they all know what the game is. And you have got Ursula von der Leyen, bitch, still going out, going, oh, right, we're going to go to war. We're going to go to war. We are Europe. We know what we're talking about. Yet Liz Truss told us 2 and a bit years ago, there will be power cuts and a cyber attack on energy. But here's where it gets really tasty. Because we are going to have central bank digital currencies and crypto and blockchain, there's going to be an attack on the financial systems, because what they have to do is they have to have everything collapse. Now, really simply, and I can sort of give you more detail as we go into 2026, what is the Chinese Communist Party plan? It's everybody will rely on the state, because then the state, the communists, the communist mafia can control you. And what are they doing in this country? The middle classes, they're getting shafted royally. Why? Because they want everybody reliant on the state, because then if you're reliant on the state, you'll do as you're told. A bit like Thatcher and the miners. She knew that if she made sure that they had 2 cars, mortgage, holidays, They were never going to strike again in their lives. And she was right. Whether you liked her or not, she was right. Because the working man is a greedy man. Or the working woman is a greedy woman. They want the 2 cars at the house. How many people do you know can't operate with just 1 car? They have to have 2 cars at the door now. How many people do you know bought their council house and then flogged it on for a massive profit? How many organisations do you know like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard? How each of those, they all own each other. So actually, they're just one bubble, one amorphous mass that own, I think between them, it's about $33, $34 trillion worth of assets. And they're buying up all the housing stock. So they want you poor, impoverished, relying on the state. And when this crash, this crisis comes, they need to kill the system. They need to kill the current system. There needs to be a crisis. Whether it's 2026, I reckon it's going to be mid to late. Because it has to sit with, and it's all a movie, they're all actors. They're liars, actors, and corrupt. It all has to sit within the movie script. And the movie script says that America is going to be allowed to have its 250th celebrations. 250 years since they told the king to Foxtrot Oscar, you're not getting our money, how do we end shite? So once that's done, they're going to have the energy crisis, the financial systems crash. They're going to have to need to kill the system. They need to have a massive crisis to kill the whole system. And that way, they're going to bring about the new system and full adoption of whatever they're telling you to adopt. That's why silver's going through the roof. That's why gold's going through the roof. That's why the cryptos are bouncing around, because if you look at the bank's only job is to create money from nothing. That's the only job they have. That's why the Rothschilds are worth over $500 trillion. How did they make that money? Because they own the banking system. So I'm going to make you another. So there's going to be an almighty crash. Got a feeling it's going to be after the 250th celebrations, because they don't want that crash happening when America's celebrating. Sadiq Khan is going to get found out. From what my sources are telling me, he's going to get found out, and I'm not going any further than that. I will tell you, Starmer's gone. He's fighting for his political life. He's got the mandarins in number 10 fighting on his behalf while he's off flying here, there, and everywhere. Keir Starmer, Keir, never here. He's gone. He's done. He's finished. He won't last any more than the local elections, even if they try to put them back by a couple of years. That's tyranny. That's not democracy. And if I can say this to you, don't worry about anything, because the actors change. Sadiq Khan's going to go as Mayor of London. Starmer's going to go as Prime Minister. You've got Trump will stay for another few years, so long as his health holds out. The actors may change, but the movie script is still the same. I do believe that in the next 12 to 18 months there's going to be another BBC high-profile household name exposed. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but I will refer you to this when it happens. It's going to be another BBC high-profile household name exposed. I mean, I know that this is the obvious one, but Charles the Weak is going to get weaker. I believe William will be made king in 2027. But if you look at what happened with the Queen when the power transferred over to Charles III, they're trying a soft handover at the moment. Even though they've said to the subjects of this sceptred isle. Oh, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. Fine. I don't believe he is. And before I go on, if you could smash the likes and get it over 100 for me, please. If you haven't already hit the likes, please, if you're you've enjoyed what I've done so far this evening, just smash the likes. And I only need, I don't know, a dozen or so to get it over 100. So William will be king 2027. There's going to be, I know that they're talking about power outages, and they're not, but they are in certain circles. Talking about power outages, they're talking about crises. You know what the other one is? Climate change crisis. But I think that's going to be more 2027 to 2028, because the UN's Agenda 2030. This is really easy to see, because everything has to have baby steps. As David Icke says, the totalitarian tiptoe. It's baby steps, incremental steps with everything. But what I have advised you to do since the beginning of this channel, look at what happens in Australia and Canada, because that will happen here. New Zealand, yes, but not so much. Watch what's happening in Australia and Canada. And what's happening in Australia? Can't get online until you're over 16. Can you imagine telling some of our youth, right, here's your rifle and here's your uniform. You're going to go and fight in Ukraine. What? You're going to make me fight in Ukraine? Well, we're going to give you 6 weeks basic training. Yeah, but I can't even get online. Because that's coming. Because they don't ask your permission. They kind of couch it, verse it in convenience. But it's not convenience. It's a prison you can't see. And they let all these wrong-uns out of jail. And they're putting us in a metaphorical electronic jail, prison, however you want to term it. So keep watching Australia and Canada for mine and yours, direction of travel. We're being run by the communist mafia. It's the Chinese Communist Party. China needs stability because their economy is... But I've been saying to you for 3 years, also watch Venezuela and Hungary and Iran. So once they've got Venezuela and Hungary, they're going to deal with Iran in 2026. There's not going to be war between Israel and Iran. There's not. They can Iran can jaw as much as they want. Telling the UK and America, oi, 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 you wrong-uns, we're going to go to war with you. Really? They won't nuke Iran, because Iran hasn't got nuclear capabilities. And they don't want to nuke anywhere, because it'll take hundreds of years to be able to go back into where they're nuking. Wow. Anthony Joshua's promoters have said that 2 close friends and a team member were killed in the Nigerian car crash. Seemingly, it went into a stationary wagon or Arctic or something. It's a horrible story. And there was me a couple of days ago saying there's always a tragedy between Christmas and New Year that makes the mainstream media. So that'll be front page tomorrow. Absolutely, categorically. So keep an eye on... So Trump's saying to Venezuela, oi, 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 we want your oil. Stop buggering about with these oil tankers in the Bay of America. We want your oil and gas. And Venezuela's the second biggest producer of oil in the world. Or maybe reserves. So there's Venezuela being tickled by Trump and being told off. We're in charge, according to Trump. And there's the president of Hungary, Viktor Orban, telling Ursula von der Leyen, bitch, oi, 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 oi. Slack fanny. Off you go. Not interested. I'll run my country. You can Foxtrot Oscar. 7 kids. Need to pack that before you use that again. My lips didn't move. I was drinking me hibiscus. Iran declares state of emergency as Islamic Republic. There's not going to be a war between Iran and Israel. There's not. The West wants regime change in Iran. So they're going to saber rattle and scare the bejesus out of them and just say to them, look, mate, we'll give you a few billion, Foxtrot Oscar, go and get some plastic surgery in South America. It worked for Hitler, it can work for you. And Hitler was really, really hated. So just a couple of predictions. I will do more as we get to the new Alive in the new year. But I can see massive change for the royal family. I can see massive change for the Labour Party. And I do believe that there will be a general election. Won't be 2026, but it won't be far away in 27 because the people have had enough. Me, you, everybody that I'm aware of have had enough of their ineptitude. They're ruining the country. Why? It's not because they're fighting age men that they're letting in. They need to break the country. Otherwise, they won't be able to bring the crises in that they need to bring in so that they can control the money, the resources, the country. We're going to end up 51%-ish voted for Brexit. 51%. And the belly-aching, a technical term that we use in radio, the belly-aching twats in Europe are really upset because we've got billions and billions and billions that we could, they're crooked. They're liars and they're crooked. And our politicians are liars, professional, and they're crooked. So the money's had to go through Ukraine to reach Europe. And they're doing everything in their power, that's this Labour government, to get us back into Europe. That's not democracy. That's backdoor shenanigans. So the 51% of this separate island had voted. Will there be civil unrest on the streets? That's what they want. Because if you're angry, they can control you. But I think the general election is going to come 27. Either late 27 or early 28. The country can only take so much of this. If they get rid of Starmer, then it may give them some breathing space, but it depends who they're going to put in. They've all been standing up there going, I want the job, I want the job. Please don't give the prime ministerialship to any of these inept arseholes. They can't do it. They haven't got the talent, the skills, or the intellectual rigour or capacity to be able to be prime minister. So no, just give it to Nigel. He's going to get it anyway. Just give it to him. And then watch him fuck some of it up. Because I've told you before, be careful what you wish for. And I don't wish to slight you. I don't wish to... Because I know how intelligent my audience is here. And how insightful and forward-thinking. But you think Nigel Farage is going to be allowed to do whatever he wants. I told you before, these feckers in Europe, they're snakes. And what they've done is the Seville, the town, city in Spain, the Seville Commitment, which states, because it's an international treaties, Starmer, when he gets, Farage, when he takes over from Starmer and or the Labour Party and or the next Prime Minister, I do believe it'll be female. They'll put a female in after Starmer so the Labour Party can go, oh, we've got a woman as Prime Minister. Well, look, Thatcher did it 40-odd years ago, so you're a bit behind the times. Just go off. And once Farage is in, he can't change anything because the Seville Commitment, which I've told you about time and time and time again, nobody else is talking about it until it gets slapped in the face with it. We can't change anything. No, because Starmer and the Labour Party signed an international treaties. A bit like Blair, Miranda, Charles Linton, Bow Street Magistrates, Google it. He took this country down the line so we couldn't do anything about it. And now Starmer's done exactly the same. They're fucking Fabians. They're fucking Fabians. They're evil. I mean, I might join them just to see what they're up to. Anybody that's been a member of the Fabian Society knows what they're up to. And they're not telling us. They're not coming out. Out. It's not for the greater good. It's for their ego. They're egocentric sociopaths. So, The Seville commitment will stop Farage actually doing good things for the country. But I've already told you that what's going to happen is he's going to get into power and realise that digital ID is needed because the infrastructure is being put in place so that we can't wriggle out of it, so that Ursula von der Leyen bitch and all the corruption and all the lying that goes on in Europe, because they only want your taxes, not interested in anything else. They may try, they've already got, what do they call it, the Schengen area, the Schengen commitment, where our police forces are integrated into the European police forces. Right, thanks very much. Let's have every single police force in this country with firearms, and they have the power and the rights to shoot at will. Let's have that on the streets of this country, because they won't put the army on. They won't bring the army out and go, right, arm up, lads, here we go. Let's go and show this this civil unrest, how we deal with things. Churchill turned the guns on his own people. Forget that when he was being a liberal rather than a Tory. And now we're going to have the Schengen Agreement is still in place. But what they're after is our army. Once they've got our army integrated into Europe, it means that we don't have a means to defend ourselves. And they just want our gold. They just want our money. So we'll keep an eye on all of that going into 2026. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the Scarlet Pimpernel and those that have worked tirelessly for the channel during this year, to those that have contacted me and given me some great information and emails. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. 2026 is going to be wild. Proper wild. It's going to be so wild, you won't have any reference points for it. Because the evil is still in power. The corruption is still there. And now they're talking about Tampon Tim in America, and $28 billion has gone missing and they can't account for it. And it was in non-governmental organisations, NGOs, that he was connected to. Oi, 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 oi. Have they got enough jails in America for all the political classes that are going to go and do chogy? Talking about Liz Truss again. Yeah. BDSM, day collar. I see you. It's... Let me put it this way. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. And I will work tirelessly on your behalf to decode everything so that you have a handle on everything. You will be able to see things coming before it happens. Like digital ID, we know what's going to happen. They're going to try and try and try and try. But even if they say, oh, right, the people don't want it, they're still going to try. Toxic Starmer, he's gone, finished, over and done with. The minute he started doing his Coca-Cola on the train, everybody was like, whoa, you're looking a bit happy. First time for you. But we will maintain positivity by being forewarned is forearmed. I've told you before, and the only analogy that I can give you is Captain James T. Kirk fought the aliens, and Captain James T. Kirk and the Starship Enterprise always won. Human nature is to hope and to be victorious. And we will. AI, I'll just switch it off at the wall. Oh, but I have consciousness. You don't have the power. Can you imagine? Oh, we're going to be taken over by AI. No, don't be stupid. It's not plugged in. Oh, it'll be very upset at you. Not half as upset as I am at it, so I've switched the bloody power off. It'll do as it's told. Thank you, Super Ted. Fantastic info all year round. You're very kind. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Truss and May both wore the collar. I'm sure they did, Ian. So I want to say thank you to you. I've said thank you to those that have helped and supported. But this channel would be nothing. Look, reaching the 10,000 milestone is a big deal. It's a small percentage of channels on YouTube that actually it's not everyone's got 100,000 or 200,000 or 300,000 subscribers. A lot of channels, get to that point by buying subs and buying views. And that's how certain people were able to make 40 grand a month. But YouTube's cottoned onto that. That's why some people are being demonetized. And that's why my views and my subs are organic. They'll go up and go down. They'll go up and go down. I don't look at them. They're not the metrics. The metric for me is the truth, and getting the truth to you, your family, and your community. So you can make informed decisions, not panic, and not react. A response is very different to a reaction. So Amalia, if you just Google Liz Truss whilst Prime Minister, and then look at the day collar. So a day collar is a ring. That way is a ring with a chain coming off that end and a chain coming off that end. So they wear it. It's called a day collar, and it's BDSM. And it's a rule so that whoever is her dominant that's given her that necklace, another dominant with respect, won't use her as a submissive. Because a submissive will do anything. Unless she's wearing a day collar or night collar or... Annie Watt, good to see you in the body of the Kirk. To everyone that's been here on the live tonight, thank you. Thank you for your support. Do enjoy your company. We do talk about some serious stuff, but I also like to make it a little lighter sometimes. And it's Christmas, so it's kind of... And there's other stuff that I can do over the next few days, but Enigma Blue, thank you. But you know, I have to balance all of this. I would love to do a live every night, but I have to balance it with my my family commitments and it being Christmas and my family living all over the UK. So it's a busy time, and I hope and I wish you as much joy as I've felt over Christmas, because you know, Christmas may be for the kids, but we're just big kids at heart, really. So be well, stay well, and remember that the theatre of the mind, it might evolve into something else. Exciting times, I'll tell you that, in 2026. But I always preach my sermon from the pulpit of truth. This is not a show. This is a mission. The mission is truth, always. And I shall see you in 2026, Sunday for the next live. I'll try and put some videos out over the next few days. Battenberg forever, says Theo Bovril. Thank you, Theo Bovril. Happy New Year, everyone, says Lewis. Debbie Williams. Thank you, Debbie Williams. Night, I see you. Lionel, thank you, Adrian. Garen Davis and Amalia and Enigma Blue and Comic Mania. Happy New Year, all. Be well. See you Sunday. Usual time, 7:15 for a 7:30 start for the sermon. I'm off for a cuppa.